Planning is key to winning without struggle. Winning Without Struggle series. Written by Daniel Eremesele. One of the great secrets to winning in life is goal setting. Goals provide a roadmap that guides you and shows you how to reach your desired destination. A roadmap is a chart or carefully designed plan that keeps you on the right path. It shows where you are, where you are going, and how far you still have to travel. A plan can also be compared to a navigation system. Just as a digital map directs you after you enter your destination, a well-developed plan guides you towards the fulfillment of your vision. It helps you identify what you want to accomplish, the steps you must take, and whether you are making meaningful progress. Your plans are direction-finding instruments. They help you track your journey and trace your route into the future you have imagined. Without a clear plan, even a sincere dreamer may wander in circles. However, when your destination is defined and your course is carefully mapped out, every purposeful step brings you closer to your goal. Engaging your mind means using it to envision where you are going. Planning is dreaming on paper. Scripture teaches, "And the Lord answered me, and said, Write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." Habakkuk 2:2 KJV. A vision that remains only in the mind may eventually become unclear, but a written vision can be studied, communicated, reviewed, and pursued. Writing your vision down transforms it from a passing thought into a definite assignment. Those who master the art of planning position themselves to live more productive and less stressful lives. Life often becomes unnecessarily difficult when there is no adequate plan for achieving a dream. The fulfillment of your dream or vision will frequently ride upon the strength of thoughtful and articulate planning. Planning does not remove every challenge, but it prepares you to confront challenges with wisdom. It helps you anticipate obstacles, organize your resources, and respond intelligently when circumstances change. A person without a plan reacts to every situation, but a person with a plan acts with intention. Setting goals involves planning. Planning means designing a program of activities and arranging its details ahead of time. It means deciding in advance what should be done, how it should be done, when it should be done, and who should be responsible for doing it. It also means preparing for something you expect to happen in the future. Planning helps you make deliberate decisions about the important events of your life. The secret behind every great and successful undertaking is purposeful preparation, and planning is an essential part of that preparation. Preparation can be described as the groundwork or preliminary work required for success. It involves conducting research, acquiring knowledge, developing the necessary skills, gathering resources, and making yourself and your team ready before the appointed date of an event or project. The stage of preparation is often where success or failure is determined. Many talented people fail to achieve their potential because they do not develop the disciplines and practical skills required to support their talents. Talent may open a door, but preparation enables you to remain effective after the door has opened. One of the most important skills required for success in life is adequate planning. A vision may reveal where you are going, but a plan explains how you intend to get there. The difference between success and failure is not always found in the presence or absence of a dream. Many people have wonderful dreams but fail to develop workable strategies for bringing them to pass. It has often been said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Meaningful progress is made through prayerful planning. This is why it has also been said, prayerful preparation prevents poor performance. When your plans are carefully prepared and prayerfully presented before God, you gain greater clarity, confidence, and direction. Poor performance can often be prevented when a person plans prayerfully. To plan prayerfully means to involve God from the beginning rather than inviting Him only after difficulties arise. When God is involved from the outset, you learn to keep your eyes on Him while working diligently towards the fulfillment of your objectives. Progress in life frequently rides on the wings of prayerful preparation, and prayerful planning can produce powerful progress. To plan is to reduce the possibility of preventable failure, and anyone who desires to avoid unnecessary failure must learn to prepare. Jesus said, "Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Matthew 26, 41 KJV. To watch and pray is to remain spiritually alert while communicating with God. It means that prayer should not make us careless or passive, it should make us attentive, discerning, and responsible. As we pray, we must also watch for opportunities, warning signs, instructions, and divine ideas. Ideas are essential ingredients in successful planning. When you watch and pray during the planning process, you place yourself in a position to receive wisdom. God can reveal possibilities you have not considered, expose weaknesses in your strategy, and direct you towards people, places, and resources that will help you. Divine ideas often come to those who wait upon the Lord, seek His wisdom, and remain willing to obey His instructions. Prayer does not replace planning, and planning does not replace prayer. The two must work together. Prayer connects you to divine wisdom, while planning helps you organize your response to that wisdom. The difference between prosperous and struggling individuals, organizations, communities, and nations can often be traced to their ability to think ahead, establish priorities, and implement sound plans. Natural resources alone do not guarantee development. Resources must be wisely managed through vision, planning, discipline, and responsible leadership. Planning puts you ahead. When you plan, you prepare yourself to take the lead. To stay ahead means to anticipate what may happen and make the necessary arrangements before it occurs. It means positioning yourself at the forefront rather than constantly struggling to catch up. Planning also helps you prepare for challenges before they arrive. Difficulties may still arise while you are executing your plans, but proper preparation can reveal many possible risks before they reach an irreversible stage. A good plan does not merely describe what you hope will happen, it also considers what you will do if circumstances do not unfold as expected. Planning should therefore include alternatives. If one method fails, another should be available. This is sometimes called contingency planning. It does not mean that you lack faith. It means that you have exercised wisdom by considering different possibilities. Faith and wisdom are not enemies. Faith gives you the courage to move forward, while wisdom teaches you how to move carefully. Planning brings faith, wisdom, vision, discipline, and action together. The benefits of planning. Planning enhances your ability to perform. When you have a good plan, you are better positioned to work efficiently and effectively. Planning helps you improve upon your previous achievements because it enables you to evaluate what worked, what failed, and what must be changed. We live in a results-oriented world. People expect to see evidence of competence in what we do. Good intentions are valuable, but they must eventually produce measurable outcomes. Planning helps turn intentions into actions and actions into results. A person who develops a suitable plan and executes it with discipline will usually possess an advantage over someone who proceeds without direction. Planning enables you to function at a more effective and advantageous level. It gives you an informed advantage over the situations and circumstances you encounter. Planning helps you answer important questions. What exactly do I want to accomplish? Why is this objective important? What resources will be required? Who should be involved? What skills must be developed? How much time will the project take? What obstacles are likely to arise? How will progress be measured? What adjustments should be made if the original approach fails? When these questions are answered honestly, confusion is reduced and purposeful action becomes possible. Planning also gives you greater control over your life and future. The best way to take responsibility for your future is to develop a workable strategy for what you intend to accomplish. Your plan becomes a bridge between your present condition and your desired future. Your plans are links to your destination and navigational instruments for traveling through uncharted territory. The future can appear uncertain because no one has lived tomorrow before. Some people become confused about how to reach it because they have tried several approaches without obtaining the results they expected. This is why planning is foundational to sustainable success. Develop a workable plan for your future, commit it to God, apply yourself diligently, and you will discover that the future can be approached with confidence. You may not be able to control everything that happens, but you can control your preparation, your attitude, your priorities, and your response. Planning gives structure to the aspects of life that have been entrusted to your stewardship. Planning helps to improve the quality of your products. Planning helps improve the quality of your products and services. Excellence is rarely accidental, it is usually the result of careful thought, preparation, testing, and improvement. When you plan ahead, you have time to examine the quality of what you are producing. You can identify weaknesses, correct mistakes, gather feedback, and refine the final outcome before presenting it to the public. Planning increases the value of your products and can give you a competitive advantage in the marketplace. A commitment to planning can place your organization in a distinguished class because it encourages consistency and professionalism. Customers are more likely to trust a person or organization that delivers dependable quality. Planning is one of the cures for poor performance. It is an antidote to underperformance in the production of goods and the delivery of services. It establishes standards against which the quality of your work can be measured. The people you serve expect excellence. Problems arise when you lack an adequate plan for delivering the service they have been promised. When people trust you to provide quality and you perform below their reasonable expectations, they may become disappointed and take their business elsewhere. A well-thought-out plan enables you to anticipate where things might go wrong and correct them beforehand. For example, if you are organizing an event, you must consider the venue, seating arrangements, transportation, security, equipment, publicity, finances, and the comfort of those attending. Ignoring one important detail can negatively affect the entire program. In the same way, a business must plan its production, marketing, customer service, finances, distribution, and future growth. Every part of the organization should work together. Planning creates the coordination required to turn separate activities into a unified and successful operation. Quality improves when you develop standards and follow them consistently. Your plan should therefore define what excellence means for you. If there is no standard, you will have no reliable way to determine whether you are improving. Planning helps you control your spending habits. Planning helps you gain control over your spending habits. A financial plan creates boundaries around your expenditure and warns you when you are going beyond what is reasonable or affordable. A budget tells your money where to go before it disappears. It helps you distinguish between needs and wants, essentials and non-essentials, investments and liabilities. It also teaches you to delay certain pleasures so that you can protect your long-term interests. Many financially successful people do not spend money carelessly. They understand that money represents time, labor, knowledge, and sacrifice. The money you earn may come from your sweat, and your sweat represents a portion of your life. Therefore, when you spend your money, you are indirectly spending part of the time and effort invested in acquiring it. This is why you must think carefully before making financial decisions. Once money has been spent, it cannot always be recovered. Planning enables you to decide whether an expense is necessary, whether it supports your purpose, and whether it will contribute to your future. Financial planning also prepares you for emergencies. Life can produce unexpected expenses, but savings and reserves can protect you from being completely overwhelmed. A person who spends everything that comes into his or her hands may remain vulnerable, regardless of the amount earned. Planning teaches you to save, invest, give, and spend wisely. It does not prevent you from enjoying life, it helps you enjoy life responsibly without destroying your future. Planning helps you manage your time and resources. Planning helps you manage your time and resources effectively. The ability to manage what you possess is rooted in proper planning. The administration of your resources depends on your capacity to use them without wasting them on unnecessary activities and expenditures. Until you learn to manage what comes into your hands, you may not be prepared to handle greater resources. Increase does not automatically correct poor management. If wastefulness is not addressed, greater resources may simply produce greater waste. One of the most valuable forms of capital given to every human being is time. Everything in life is connected to time. In the business world, people often say, time is money. If time can be converted into value, then it is one of the forms of capital required to begin whatever you desire to accomplish. If you have time, you can acquire knowledge and develop skills. If you have time, you can attend school, receive training, build relationships, create products, execute projects, and accomplish meaningful things. How you use your time determines how you use your life. Time can be described as the measurable portion of life available for carrying out your earthly assignment. It is a season during which particular events occur and decisions are made. Time is the period God has entrusted to you on the stage of life. During that period, you are expected to do things that improve your life and the lives of those you have been called to serve. Every person receives 24 hours each day, but the results produced within those hours differ. The difference often lies in priorities, focus, discipline, knowledge, and planning. Without a plan, urgent but unimportant matters can consume your day. With a plan, you can identify your most important responsibilities and allocate time to them. Time management is not about filling every moment with activity. It is about giving your best time to the things that matter most. Planning helps you determine what should be done immediately, what can be scheduled for later, what can be delegated, and what should not be done at all. It protects you from confusing busyness with productivity. A busy person may perform many activities without making meaningful progress. A productive person directs time and energy towards actions that support clearly defined objectives. Planning helps to keep you on track. Planning keeps you on track and helps you avoid preventable pitfalls. There are consequences attached to the decisions we make. Some of these consequences can become traps, but careful planning helps us recognize danger and avoid unnecessary failure. Planning reveals the pathway that leads to our destination and identifies roads that will take us away from our desired goal. One of the most important disciplines in life is learning to remain on track. The book of Joel describes an organized and disciplined army. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Joel 2:7 KJV. The picture presented in this verse is one of order, discipline, focus, and coordination. Everyone remains in position, understands the assignment, and refuses to break formation. God wants us to remain faithful to our appointed course. One of the greatest challenges in the pursuit of success is staying in our own lane. We are often tempted to abandon our direction because someone else appears to be progressing faster. Comparison can make a person forsake a good plan and begin pursuing an assignment that was never meant for him or her. The best way to maintain your course is to follow a clear plan. When you begin doing something that falls outside your purpose and priorities, your written plan can help you recognize the deviation and return to the right path. Many people fail because they are easily distracted. They move from one project to another without completing anything. They start with enthusiasm but lose focus when difficulties arise or when a new opportunity appears more attractive. Not every opportunity is connected to your assignment. Some opportunities are distractions disguised as progress. Planning helps you evaluate them. Before accepting a new commitment, ask whether it supports your vision, whether you have the necessary capacity, and what it may require you to neglect. Soldiers are trained to be disciplined and to remain at the duty posts. They learn to live according to the demands of their calling. They understand the importance of maintaining formation because success on the battlefield may depend upon their ability to work together and follow instructions. In the same way, you must remain committed to your master plan while being wise enough to make adjustments when necessary. Staying on track does not mean refusing to learn or change. It means ensuring that every necessary change continues to serve the original purpose. A plan should provide direction without becoming a prison. Circumstances can change, new information can emerge, and better methods can be discovered. When this happens, review your plan prayerfully and make intelligent adjustments without abandoning your vision. Planning provides direction. The plans you develop show you how to approach the things you want to accomplish. One of the easiest ways to understand how to carry out an assignment is to plan it carefully. Planning explains the details of what you are undertaking and the process required to produce the desired outcome. It places things in the proper perspective as you pursue your objectives. A good plan identifies the starting point, the destination, and the steps between them. It breaks a large dream into smaller, manageable actions. This prevents you from becoming overwhelmed by the size of the vision. For example, Writing a book may appear to be a massive undertaking. However, the process becomes more manageable when it is divided into research, outlining, drafting, editing, proofreading, designing, publishing, and marketing. Each completed stage moves the writer closer to the finished product. Planning can therefore be described as documenting the things that must be done to fulfill your God-given assignment. It shows you how to travel towards the city of your dream. It helps you understand what to do, what not to do, where to begin, and when to move to the next stage. However, many people make plans without committing themselves to those plans. When there is no commitment, even a brilliant plan becomes little more than a daydream. As you make plans, commit yourself to executing them. Work consistently until what was written on paper begins to appear in reality. The purpose of planning is to identify the practical actions required to bring a dream or vision to fulfillment. Plans are valuable only to the extent that their owners are willing to work on them. A plan that is never implemented cannot produce results. Knowledge must become action, intention must become discipline, and vision must become labor. Requirements for proper planning. There are instruments and disciplines required for proper planning. An architect cannot design the master plan of a building without the appropriate knowledge, measurements, and architectural instruments. In a similar sense, every one of us is an architect of his or her life. We are responsible for making many of the decisions that affect the direction and fulfillment of our destinies. Although we depend upon God for grace, wisdom, and opportunity, we must accept responsibility for planning and executing the assignments He has entrusted to us. An architect is someone responsible for planning and creating a structure, system, event, or situation. If you desire to build a meaningful life, you must learn to think like an architect. You must see beyond the present condition and develop a design for the future. The following requirements are essential for proper planning. Engage your mind. To develop a proper plan for your life, you must engage your mind. Engaging your mind means using it to envision where you are going and to determine how you may arrive there. You must first have an idea of your destination before you can select the road that will take you there. A person who does not know where he is going will find it difficult to measure progress. Engage your mind in creative thinking. Creative thinking means putting your mental capacity to productive use. There is physical strength, and there is mental strength. Both are valuable, and society requires the contribution of people who work with their hands as well as those who work primarily with their minds. Mental strength involves applying your intellectual ability to design the kind of future you desire. It includes reasoning, analyzing, imagining, evaluating, and solving problems. Intellectual ability becomes productive when it is directed towards meaningful outcomes. For you to plan well, you must learn to think well. Planning is a product of mental creativity. Wherever you find an excellent plan, you can be certain that careful thought has taken place. People contribute value in different ways. Some jobs demand greater physical effort, while others demand extensive analysis, decision-making, creativity, or specialized knowledge. The purpose of this comparison is not to diminish physical labor. Honest work has dignity. However, it is important to recognize that ideas, innovations, strategies, and decisions can multiply the effectiveness of physical effort. Mental capability produces creativity, innovation, and ideas that can lift an organization to greater heights. When you engage your mind in leading an organization, you can develop original solutions and establish a distinctive identity. Originality gives an organization a competitive advantage. If you merely copy everything others are doing, you may always remain behind them. However, when you think creatively, you can discover better methods, meet neglected needs, and provide solutions that distinguish your work in the marketplace. To become mentally creative, you must create time for reflection, reasoning, learning, and sound judgment. You must train yourself to examine problems from different perspectives and search for solutions that advance the cause of your life and destiny. We must learn the art of dreaming through disciplined thought. This requires quiet time for meditation and reflection. Constant noise, distraction, and unnecessary activity can prevent the mind from producing its best ideas. Thinking helps you form a picture of your future. Vision involves seeing what does not yet exist in visible form while believing that it can be created through faith, wisdom, effort, and time. When you can see a desirable future in your imagination, you can begin to dream on paper. That is planning. Planning is painting a picture of your future on paper before it becomes visible in the natural world. You need facts. To develop a proper plan, you must undertake a fact-gathering mission. Accurate planning requires relevant, reliable, and current information. Facts are not enemies of faith. Facts help you understand the situation you are dealing with, while faith gives you confidence that the situation can be changed. Ignoring facts does not make them disappear. It only weakens your ability to make sound decisions. You cannot afford to isolate yourself from society. You need to remain aware of what is happening in your environment and the wider world. There are many people who desire success but possess very little knowledge about the field in which they want to operate. How can you make progress in a field you do not understand? Before beginning a business, project, profession, or ministry assignment, you should learn about the people you intend to serve, the problems they face, the resources required, the laws that apply, and the standards expected. When you remain informed about current developments, new ideas, and relevant events, you are better equipped to make sound decisions concerning your chosen field or vocation. Fact gathering may involve reading books, studying reports, observing trends, speaking with experienced people, conducting surveys, asking questions, and analyzing previous results. Information reduces avoidable mistakes. However, not every piece of information is reliable. You must learn to distinguish facts from rumors, assumptions, exaggerations, and personal opinions. Verify important information before using it as the foundation of your plan. Good planning is built upon truth. If your assumptions are wrong, your calculations may also be wrong. Therefore, identify what you know, what you do not know, and what you still need to discover. If you refuse to remain informed, you may become a leader only in the small world of your own imagination. Effective leadership requires an understanding of reality as well as a vision for changing it. Seek wise counsel. Proper planning also requires wise counsel. No single person possesses all the knowledge needed for every assignment. Pride may cause someone to reject advice, but humility recognizes the value of learning from others. Scripture teaches, "Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety." Proverbs 11:14 KJV. Wise counselors can identify weaknesses in your plan, introduce you to possibilities you have not considered, and help you avoid mistakes they have already made. This is one of the great benefits of mentorship. Nevertheless, counsel should be evaluated carefully. Do not accept every opinion simply because it is confidently expressed. Seek advice from people who possess knowledge, integrity, experience, and an understanding of your vision. Ultimately, submit your plans to God and ask Him for wisdom. Human counsel is valuable, but divine direction remains supreme. Establish clear priorities. Proper planning requires clear priorities. You cannot do everything at the same time. Some responsibilities are more important than others, and some actions must be completed before others can begin. Priorities help you determine what deserves your immediate attention. Without them, minor activities may consume the time and energy needed for major assignments. Your priorities should be aligned with your purpose, values, responsibilities, and season of life. What is urgent is not always important, and what is important may not always appear urgent. Wisdom is the ability to recognize the difference. A clear plan arranges your responsibilities in the right order. It prevents you from building the roof before laying the foundation. Set measurable goals. A proper plan should contain clear and measurable goals. A vague desire such as, "I want to succeed," does not provide enough direction. You must define what success means in relation to the assignment. A measurable goal identifies a particular result and, where appropriate, a time frame. It enables you to know whether progress is being made. Large goals should be divided into smaller stages. Each stage becomes a milestone that can be evaluated and celebrated. This builds confidence and maintains momentum. Goals should challenge you, but they should also be connected to reality. A good plan stretches your capacity without ignoring the resources, knowledge, and time required for implementation. Write your plan down. A plan that exists only in your mind can easily be forgotten or distorted. Writing makes the plan visible. It enables you to review the details, identify missing information, and communicate the vision to other people. Your written plan does not need to be unnecessarily complicated. It should be clear enough to answer the essential questions concerning your objective, strategy, responsibilities, resources, time frame, and expected outcome. Review the written plan regularly. Record your progress, identify delays, and make necessary adjustments. A plan becomes a living instrument when it is continually consulted and responsibly updated. Take action. Planning must lead to action. Some people spend so much time preparing that they never begin. They continue analyzing, researching, and adjusting because they are afraid of making a mistake. No plan will ever be completely free from uncertainty. At some point, you must step out in faith and begin. Action reveals what theory alone cannot teach you. As you act, you receive feedback that helps you improve the plan. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Begin with what you have, where you are, while continuing to learn and improve. A modest beginning supported by consistent action is more valuable than a magnificent plan that is never implemented. Review and adjust your plan. Proper planning includes regular evaluation. Ask yourself whether your actions are producing the expected results. If they are not, identify the reason and make the necessary correction. Changing a method does not mean abandoning the vision. Sometimes the destination remains the same while the route must change. Wisdom recognizes when persistence is required and when adjustment is necessary. Review your daily, weekly, monthly, and annual progress. Celebrate what has been achieved, learn from what went wrong, and prepare for the next stage. A person who refuses to review a plan may continue repeating the same mistakes. Evaluation turns experience into wisdom. Learn to plan. To develop a proper plan for your life, you must begin practicing. You cannot become skillful at planning without actually doing it. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. Begin by planning your day. Then plan your week, month, and year. Establish clear priorities and decide when important responsibilities will be completed. Starting with these simple practices will help you develop greater planning capacity. One of the most important areas in which we must learn to plan is our finances. If you plan how to use your money before spending it, you may discover that many of your usual expenses are unnecessary. We often spend money on non-essential items and then begin searching for money when essential needs arise. Financial planning helps you reserve resources for what truly matters. We must learn to plan and also develop the courage to make meaningful plans. A small plan may sometimes reveal a limited vision, but a large plan should not be based on empty ambition. It should be supported by faith, wisdom, preparation, discipline, and a willingness to grow. Your present capacity may be smaller than your vision, but this does not mean you should abandon the vision. It means you must begin developing the capacity required to fulfill it. Dream big, develop a great vision, and then break that vision into achievable steps. Do not despise small beginnings, but do not allow your beginning to become your permanent limit. Conclusion. Planning is one of the keys to winning without unnecessary struggle. It gives direction to your vision, structure to your efforts, and purpose to your daily activities. It helps you manage your time, finances, talents, relationships, and opportunities with greater wisdom. Planning cannot guarantee that everything will happen exactly as expected. Life contains uncertainties, and circumstances can change. Nevertheless, planning prepares you to respond to those changes more effectively. Commit your plans to God. Seek His wisdom, remain sensitive to His direction, and be willing to make adjustments when He leads you differently. The Bible says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." Proverbs 16:3 KJV. Do not merely talk about your dream. Write it down. Develop a strategy. Establish priorities. Gather the necessary information. Seek wise counsel. Set measurable goals. Take action. Review your progress and remain committed to the process. Your vision reveals the future you desire, but your plan creates the pathway towards it. Prayer gives you spiritual strength, wisdom gives you understanding, and disciplined action turns your plan into reality. Plan prayerfully. Prepare thoroughly. Work diligently. Remain focused. Trust God throughout the journey. The top is where you belong. See you there. Copyright 2026 Daniel Eramesele. All rights reserved. We sincerely appreciate the time you have spent with us. We look forward to connecting with you again. Until then, remain blessed, continue exploring the treasures God has placed within you, and remember to listen to our other inspirational materials. We would be grateful to receive your feedback and hear how this audiobook has blessed, encouraged, or transformed your life. Please help us to like and subscribe to our channel to help us reach more people. Thank you once again.